Automation for the People. Article by Susan Muldowney. Algorithms such as those that determine credit decisions are often described as black boxes because of the mystery surrounding what really goes on inside them. Even the most ethics-focused and tech-driven organizations face something of a minefield when navigating the growing power and influence of Fourth Industrial Revolution, 4IR, technologies as they continue to evolve and make further inroads into the mainstream. The World Economic Forum describes 4IR as a new chapter in human development enabled by extraordinary technological advances. It encompasses artificial intelligence, AI, robotics, the Internet of Things, IoT, genetic engineering, and quantum computing, and blends the physical, digital, and biological worlds to help us do things that were previously impossible, or that took too much time, effort, and resources. Law enforcers are using 4IR technology to help combat crime. Scientists have mined it to map the human genome. When managed well, the technology can unlock new sources of economic value by verifying assumptions, predicting customer needs, and spotting business trends. The value that AI can bring to real-world problems is huge, says Professor Matt Cooper-Holz, Chief Data Scientist and Partner at PwC. The fact that it's simply not just AI, but a whole bunch of exponential technologies that are reinforcing each other is an even more important concept to grasp. Part of the solution for monitoring the performance of AI is explainability and transparency, then robustness and security, in the same way you would address cybersecurity, says Kuberholz. But there's a lot of catching up to do. 4IR technologies pose ethical challenges because their advancements are moving faster than standards of governance and regulation. However, Cooper-Holz also notes a disparity between the assumptions of some organizations that use the tools and the wider goals of the society in which they operate. Consider the example of AI-led company such as YouTube. In broad terms, its business model is based on users' time on site, which determines the number of ads they see to maximize advertising revenue. YouTube has huge amounts of data at its disposal. It knows who users are and which videos they watch, and because it's linked to Google, their search history too. Social media platforms can train an AI algorithm to search for the best videos to put in front of me to maximize my time on site, says Cooper-Holz. These algorithms were put in place to maximize profits for shareholders, but did it accomplish the right thing by serving me the most interesting, educational content that's going to serve my purpose as a human? The answer is probably no. The same applies to the algorithms that serve up content to my daughter in continuous feeds, adds Cooper-Holz. How biased are they? Why is she not seeing people with a disability in these feeds? Why is she not seeing people with imperfect body types in these feeds? Why is she seeing fewer dark-skinned people, given that she's a light-skinned girl? The algorithms are aiming to maximize her time on site, while compromising a fair and unbiased representation of what the world actually looks like. It's not just tech companies that face ethical questions from their use of 4IR technologies. Research from PwC shows that of businesses currently using or trialing AI solutions, 25% have not considered AI as part of their corporate strategy, while just 38% believe it's aligned with their organizational values. Only a quarter make ethical implications a top consideration for AI solutions before investing in them. However, 84% of CEOs agree that AI-based decisions need to be explainable in order to be trusted. Professor Mahendrian Sangrian Nair, FCPA, Pro-Vice Chancellor of Research and Engagement and Impact with Sunway University Malaysia, Fellow of Academy in Sciences Malaysia, and member of CPA Australia's Digital Transformation Committee, says technology provides huge opportunities for the accounting profession, while also posing significant ethical questions. Tools like behavioral analytics and sentiment analysis are becoming core to many accounting decisions as they help firms to understand different value systems and markets, so clients can make more informed decisions, he says. There are many positives in terms of economic productivity and improving market reach. Nair adds that deep learning tools can also gather and analyze information quickly, including unstructured data from sources like social networks or emails. People are knowingly or unknowingly making this data available, says Nair. When it's used unknowingly, ethical issues can arise. The challenge, however, is that so many of our institutions, our governance systems, and our regulatory frameworks haven't kept up with the pace of technological developments. Many of the institutions are lagging behind. Janine Patterson, Professor of Law at University of Melbourne and co-director of the university's Centre of AI and Digital Ethics, says there is a general lack of understanding about the nature of 4IR technologies among the organisations that use them. That follows a flow-on effect in understanding what the risks are, she says. If you're using natural language processing, for instance, the risk of bias and discrimination may arise in the way the language is interpreted and used. There's quite a different risk if you're using machine learning in advertising, where the bias and discrimination might be found in who gets to see ads and who doesn't. This lack of understanding of 4IR technology is also revealed in the findings of the 2021 Fourth Industrial Revolution Benchmark Survey by KPMG Digital Delta in collaboration with Fathom. This survey has found that most Australian businesses leaders lack a deep knowledge or experience with 4IR technologies, and less than half feel that their organisation is strongly prepared for technological change. Piers Hogarth Scott, partner at KPMG Digital Delta, a national leader to IoT, says adoption of technology has only accelerated since the COVID-19 pandemic. Results of our 2021 study are being analysed, and I expect we'll see greater uptake in technology like AI, he says. However, organisations need to develop strong oversight and governance around its use. Andrew D. Alwis, FCPA, Managing Director of Education Institute Ultimate Access in Dubai, and a member of CPA Australia's Ethics and Professional Standards Centre of Excellence, says business leaders must develop an understanding of the technology they employ, including the risk it presents. This responsibility doesn't sit solely in that IT domain, she says. The ethical principles for accountants are based on 5 key areas: integrity, objectivity, professional competence, due care, confidentiality, and professional behaviour. These principles should be the foundation of how we approach technology like AI, because they encompass transparency, accountability, and fairness. Nair says leadership must come from the top. We're starting to see the emergence of roles like Chief Ethics Officer and Chief Innovation Officer, he says. They must work together with the CEO, CTO, CFO to put in place a foolproof governance system to mitigate risks. I think if you don't do that, it will undermine the firm's credibility, accountability, and responsibility. This confluence of technology requires a confluence of leadership styles to address a fast-changing global economy powered by science, technology, and innovation, adds Nair. We're going to see a lot more structure within organizations to ensure a cross-pollination of ideas to address ethical risk, and some of the most sophisticated firms are moving in this direction before implementing new technologies. Patterson stresses that AI ethics policies should not be a gloss on top of what the technologies do. Ethical questions are fundamental to how companies use technology and whether it does for them what they actually want it to do. Another risk is error. If you don't know what it is you are using and what data your technology is relying on, you could receive erroneous results. Cooper Holt says standards of governance and regulation will eventually catch up to 4IR technologies. Remember that around the turn of the 20th century, there was no regulation governing the publishing of financial statements by listed companies, he says. Society drove the need for this level of regulation, which is now the backbone for audit companies. We find ourselves in a situation that drags regulation into being, adds Cooper Holt. AI-first companies are not motivated to put the handbrakes on themselves, but at some point it will seem like the Wild West if companies are just using AI to maximize return to shareholder value rather than using it in the best interests of society as a whole. In the meantime, however, organizations must take responsibility for understanding and explaining the use of 4IR technologies. We have taken ourselves to this incredible precipice of the most exciting technology that's ever existed, says Cooper Holt. In theory, it could solve problems like cancer, pollution, world hunger. On the other hand, however, it could lead to a completely dystopian future that benefits the few and disadvantages the many. With this great power comes great responsibility. And you can't get something for nothing. You have to acknowledge that the use of these technologies opens up a different risk profile, and you are accountable at the board level for mitigating these risks sufficiently. The buck has got to stop with you for your use of AI and advanced technologies, adds Cooper Holtz. Is it fair? Is it unbiased? Is it appropriately governed? Companies that put in place and publish strong, ethical frameworks are building the guide rails by which they will get more advantage from this technology rather than less.